welcome back to the Blessed Life with Tiffany. Today I have my little girl Mackenzie with me. She's gonna help me in the kitchen a little bit. We're gonna do some cooking. Can't you tell I'm ready for fall, y'all? How you like my little apron? Okay, yeah, Hobby Lobby, wonderful situation. Anyway, Mackenzie is with me and she's gonna help me today. What do you have on your face? She's gonna help me today. Get started in the kitchen. We're gonna do some cleaning and some cooking, and we're gonna just take you along with me for the ride, okay? Kenzie, you wanna say hey? Hi. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. I am peeling these potatoes, but I later on decide to save them for the next day. But at least that's one step that I do not have to complete tomorrow. So I'm just going to continue peeling them, put them in some water so that they don't turn brown. And I'm going to move on to the chicken in just a moment. And so I cut open the bag of chicken, and these are just like the little wingettes that you can buy, so they're easier to kind of wash up and clean. And so I rinse those off with warm water. I also typically use kosher salt and white vinegar to clean them. And so I wash them really, really well. And then I will, wash my hands, gather some seasoning, and then we will season these up momentarily. But I take my time to really rinse, wash, and clean these wings really well. And so you see me here still doing that, really taking care to get each piece to rub off any additional hairs or feathers that might be on it, or just gunk from being in the bag, just making sure that I clean the chicken up really, really well. And then once I'm, done washing them, then I will wash my hands really well with some soap and water to ensure that I'm not kind of transferring any germs. We don't want any salmonella spread around in the kitchen. So wash your hands thoroughly when you're dealing with poultry. And then, dry my hands and just kind of wipe things up. I'm going to sanitize my countertops completely when I'm done. But I like to kind of wipe and clean as I go along. Listen, you guys will find that I am very old school. So I don't typically use canned goods, but, I use them sometimes. But typically I use fresh vegetables. I make all of my stuff myself. My girls, though, they seem to love the Glory Foods, the Simply canned seasoned collards. Now, I drain mine. I rinse all my stuff that I cook in a can. I drain it and I rinse it. There's so many preservatives. There's so much sodium. There's so much just stuff because it's been sitting in a can. And I'm going to add my own seasoning. But I always wash them really good. I always rinse my stuff in the can off. I don't like that aluminum taste. I don't like how they taste when they're in the can. My grandmother and my great-grandmother used to do the same thing. My grandmother, she still does it to this day. We rinse our stuff in the can. And so I'm gonna have some black-eyed peas. We're gonna have some Zatarain's yellow rice, and we're gonna have some greens, okay? Don't y'all sleep on these greens in this can, though. I don't know who Miss Glory is, Glory Foods. I'm assuming it's a miss, because they that good.
But that's what I'm gonna do today because it's the middle of the week. It's not Sunday. I'm not cutting up collards and cleaning them to make them on a big old Wednesday, okay? So that's what we're gonna do. All right. I also really wash the tops of my cans really, really good before I open them so that whatever's on the outside doesn't get on the inside, okay? So that one's done. Put a little Dawn dishwashing liquid on top of it. And then just get the rinsing. Rinse the whole top part real good. Okay? And so after you're done rinsing, you can feel free to open up your stuff.
So here I am rinsing the collards that were in those 2 cans that I opened. And I also rinse those with kind of lukewarm water, but I go through and rinse them really, really good in my little strainer. And then after I rinse those, then I get another little pot and I'm gonna add those collards to that pot and just about cover it with water. I don't just put too much water in it, but I do cover it with water and put it on the stove. I have a bouillon cube that I put in the collards to help flavor, to help season them. And so I kind of break that up into pieces so that it can really get in the collards. It kind of melts away as the water starts to come to a boil. And then I'm opening up the can of black-eyed peas and rinsing those as well. Draining them really, really good. And then I rinse those off really good and I put those in a pot and put some water and some onions. And I would typically put some peppers too, some red or green or both peppers in it, but I didn't have any this particular day. I had not been to the grocery store to get some of the produce that I normally would use in some of my food. And so I'm using what I have. And I chop those onions up and then I get some of the garlic paste and I put a little bit of the garlic paste. The Goya seasoning is a vegetable seasoning. It goes well though with everything. I kind of put it in everything. Then we have onion powder that I use in the peas, and then some pink Himalayan sea salt. I typically don't use iodized salt just because pink Himalayan sea salt is just better for you. And so I put a bit of that in there, stir it up really well, and I'm going to put it on the stove. This is me adding some of my water for my rice. We're having the Zatarain's yellow rice, and 1 box of that calls for about 2.5 cups of water and about a tablespoon of butter. You bring that to a boil first, and after it comes to a soft boil, then you're going to add your Zatarain's rice. And here I have my Goya ham seasoning, and I'm going to put that and add that into my greens that are on the stove, and they are boiling away at this point. Okay, now right here are the seasonings that I'm going to use to season up my chicken. Anyone who knows me knows I don't play about my food being seasoned. So we have Lowry's, we have Goya, we have onion and garlic powder, we have pink Himalayan sea salt, we have pepper, we have the Weber, the New Orleans seasoning, and then this Sazon by Goya is some of the best seasoning you are going to ever have. It comes for poultry, it comes in fish, it comes in a little green packet for vegetables. But I promise you, you get you some of this if you don't use anything else that I am showing you. Get you some of this for your food, whether it's poultry or fish or vegetables. I use House Autry chicken butter and self-rising white flour. I do half and half of that. After I season my chicken, then I dredge them in the flour mixture. I always, when I'm frying chicken, make sure that my chicken is A, clean, and B, seasoned and dry. It has to be very dry because we want it to crisp up really well and not get water in our oil. So after I go through and season them really good right here, I really swish it around. I wash my hands several times just because I have nails. I try to get under my nails and make sure I don't have anything on my hands. But we season up our chicken and make sure that they are coated very, very well with seasoning and then the flour mixture. As you see me here, I constantly clean up when I'm dealing with my food in the kitchen. I don't know, it's habit from being a little girl in a southern kitchen with my grandmother and my great grandmother. They didn't play about you being clean, wiping up, after yourself as you go along, and just making sure that you take care to care for your food so that you don't make anybody sick cooking. So I'm going to go ahead and put half of this white flour, and then I'm going to put half of the House Autry flour, and we're going to make sure that our chicken is floured, every little section, every little piece. We're going to make sure it is good to go before we drop it in this grease. Okay, so do you see how this grease is popping right now? This is what you want to see. You want to be sure that your grease is hot. You want it to be hot enough, not so hot that you'll scorch your chicken, but hot so that it fries up right away as soon as it hits the grease. We want it to be bubbling like this. This is what we want. Okay, now that I have gotten everything on the stove, I'm gonna start cleaning up some of this that you see.
because I don't like it in this house. I'm so sick of picking up behind these folk that live here. So I go ahead and make my work light, real light. And so I clean up as I go. That way I ain't got to fuss and carry on and everything. You know, when it's time to clean up, they can put the rest of the dishes in the dishwasher. My husband can wipe the counters down and Mackenzie can sweep. You see how that go? Chew the bug, push all the chairs under the table. Everybody has to pull their weight, you know? Even the baby, she's 2, but she can push a chair under. She can walk her little plate to the kitchen and dump it in the trash and then throw it in the sink. It barely makes it to the sink, but it makes it to the sink. When she has an accident, guess what? We clean it up. Because we're teaching. Isn't that what we're supposed to do? We're teaching. We're teaching our children to do, to be able to take care of themselves when we're not around, right? And so all of that starts at home. That's all I'm saying. They don't have home ec in school anymore. We are the home ec. So I really do believe in you teaching your children what you know. What you don't know, you go find another resource, but you always expose them to as much as you possibly can, okay? Everything is a lesson to be learned, everything. Okay? So we have to teach our children, okay? But if the parents don't know that, we can't teach what we don't know. Just saying. Get you some knowledge, you know, I believe in that. I believe in that. All right, I'm going to check on my chicken and the rest of my food, okay?
So you saw me just try tasting the greens and the beans just to be sure that they were seasoned properly and that they are ready. I'm now lining up a tin pan to take our chicken out and put it in there because I like draining any excess oil. I don't like greasy chicken. I want to taste the meat, not the grease. So I make sure that I put it in this little pan, and it drains it and keeps it warm all at the same time. So I'm gonna take all of this out and then show you what that looks like once I've gotten all of them out of the grease, and then I'm going to cook up the last few that are still left in the colander that I dredged them in the flour in.
We're gonna do this number right here, right? Cheers. I hope you guys enjoyed today as much as I did. I hope you learned how I do things and how you can take what I do and make it your very own. Have a good day. Thank you for watching The Blessed Life with Tiffany, and I will see you here again next time. Please like, subscribe, and comment below. Go over to Instagram at Beauty Driven and follow me on Instagram. I love you guys so much. God bless.